What is the perfect NLP technique? Stay tuned. Hey, this is Damon from NLP Gym, bringing you cutting-edge Neuro Linguistic Programming tools and techniques to help you create the life that you desire. So if that sounds good, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. The best NLP technique is the one that works right now. Now that might not be the answer you were looking for. What I see, one of the major mistakes I see NLP students make is they go in pursuit of techniques. They go chasing the techniques. They want to learn either a lot of techniques or they want to learn the best technique. The technique that is going to solve everything. The one that's going to work most of the time, if not all of the time, and get the job done, one and done, and that's it. There's a big problem with that thinking. That type of thinking is this idea that the magic is in the technique. And we use the word magic in NLP basically to explain that there are some things that look like magic, but there's always an explanation behind it. So we see people do these amazing things, looks like magic to us, but the mindset of using NLP is that we can break this down, we can find the structure, and we can replicate that success. We can replicate that magic. That magic exists in you. It does not exist in a technique. The technique is there as sort of a protocol or a way to access whatever it is you're trying to access, a way, sort of like a pathway or a direction, even a map, if you will, of how to navigate to solve whatever problem it is you're trying to solve or accomplish or achieve whatever kind of success that you want to achieve. It's important though to remember though that it's coming from you. So if you go in search of the magic and the perfection and the best technique, or that the magic and all of that is in the technique, you're overlooking where the true magic and the true source of the magic is, and that's right here. What I like to tell my students is that the magic is not in the wand. The magic is in the magician, and you're the magician. The wand is a tool. It's a useful tool, it's a necessary tool, and of course the wand is the technique or the process. So I'm not knocking the process or dismissing it. It's definitely important. Just recognize that your skills, your abilities are where that magic is. That's where it's coming from. The worst thing that I see is when someone gets stuck on a technique, like they think that this is the best technique and they think it solves everything and they just need to just stick to that. That what happens is when that technique fails, and it will fail, they all do. All techniques and processes are not appropriate for all problems, all people, all situations. So when that happens and you have someone who's very attached, if you're one of those people who's very attached to a certain NLP technique or process, when that process fails, you're either going to pretend like it worked, which isn't going to serve you, and if you're a coach and you're working with someone, it's definitely not going to serve them, or you feel lost because you put so much on that one process or technique as being the answer to everything. Now that it didn't work, what do you do now? So I'll give you a much better way to think about this, and it comes in a metaphor that I heard the philosopher Alan Watts say one time. And basically that if you were to come to a riverbed, you're trying to cross over to this other mountain, and in order to get there you have to go through this water. Well, how do you do it? Okay, well, you create a tool, a means. This would be the equivalent of the NLP technique or process. So you build a raft and you take that raft across the water. The raft is useful to cross that body of water. Now when you get to the other side and you get to the land, you wouldn't pick that raft up and put it on your back and haul it up the mountain because it's no longer useful. The raft was appropriate for the water, it's not appropriate to get you up the mountain. See NLP techniques that way. You can use one. If it doesn't work, you try another. Don't get caught up on one of them. Don't get into this mindset of there's one that's better than others. It's always about which one is useful and appropriate for the particular situation or the problem, or like I said, the goal that you're trying to achieve. So what should you do? What is the answer here? So if you're not going to pursue techniques as being the magic, and you're not going to look for the perfect technique and the one that solves everything, what should you do? Cultivate skill. One of my NLP teachers, Judith Delosier, once told me, she said, learning NLP techniques is great, but be careful. At some point, those NLP processes and techniques will fail, but your skills will never fail you. Now, your skills might not be good enough at a certain point, which means you have to practice more, but always rely on your skills, and skills take practice. So what do you practice? You practice the techniques, and this is what makes this all come together. Cultivate the skill through practicing NLP techniques, and not just practicing techniques, be precise. Go at it step by step. Don't take creative liberties when it comes to practicing, especially in the early stages. Maybe that comes later. Maybe you try out some different things, you experiment. Experimenting's good, and as you get better, you might see the need to modify things. But in the beginning, practice each process and technique precisely, and focus on cultivating the skill. This works together so well. So you're practicing the skills, and it's not like you're just doing it randomly. You have a focus, you have a paradigm, you have a direction, you have a recipe to follow. Just think about it. How do you improve cooking skills? You cook, but you don't just go to the stove and you just cook anything. You use recipes. You take the recipe, especially if it's a recipe you've never done before, and you try to follow it and make the dish like it's supposed to turn out. And you do this over and over and over again until you start to cultivate these cooking skills. And pretty soon you don't really need recipes anymore, or you can make your own recipes. And that's how NLP works as well. So you're going to practice the techniques, you're going to practice them precisely, you're going to cultivate that skill. When you do this enough, you will get NLP in the muscle, and you won't have to consciously think about processes and techniques so much. You'll just do NLP. Check out my website, nlp-gym.com. There you will find some free NLP training and some free hypnotic inductions. You can access these immediately by just downloading them to your phone, your laptop, or your tablet. Check out NLP Gym on Facebook. There you'll get real-time updates on whatever it is I'm up to. If I'm releasing a new training, doing a talk in your area, or teaching a workshop, you will find it on the NLP Gym Facebook page. I also have a private NLP Gym Facebook group. Check that one out as well. If you like this video, please click like right down here. And of course, if you have not subscribed already, please do so now by clicking the subscribe button right down here. Take care.